I'm going to talk about something that a woman in her early 40s might have puzzled over or looked for guidance on, and I hope you find it interesting. Her professional career earns her a yearly income of $220,000. After climbing the ranks of the company, she is now looking for someone who would make a good partner for the rest of her life. This is something that has been mentioned in a number of magazines. Articles that are meant to appeal to the type of powerful woman who feels that there are no longer any good men. People who say they can't seem to meet a decent man, but who covet magazine covers with groups of 5 sassy ladies posing in suits. These people include women who say they covet those covers. I'll explain the reasoning for that in a moment. There are actually only 3 primary reasons he had none of these outlets will ever give you the complete truth about anything. We are going to start on something that will not be enjoyable and will not be adorned with rainbows and butterflies. Your experience with dating has been difficult so far because there aren't many potential partners who are a good fit for you. Women are sexually promiscuous by their very nature, which means that they will always look for the larger and better arrangement. You are a working lady in your 40s or 50s, this is especially true. If you have children, you've been promoted to a higher position in the organization, to use a figurative language, because of your accomplishments as a contemporary public person, such as a doctor, lawyer, or other professional. You've amassed a sizable wealth. You have a number of pieces of paper that are framed in mahogany that are hanging on your wall. It's fantastic to be able to talk about your achievements on paper, but the reality is that the vast majority of guys aren't interested in hearing about that kind of thing. We're talking about men's achievements. I can't think of a single male who has ever said something along the lines of, "Look at the degree that lady has." Men don't work like that. Citation needed. Men can find lovely women just about anywhere. This is the bare and varnished reality about the difference between men and women. As a woman advances in her career, she moves closer and closer toward achieving economic autonomy. It's likely that you've already purchased and completely paid for a house with the money you've earned from working corporate jobs and other endeavors of a similar nature, because you only date vertically in the cross. You are confident in your attractiveness due to the fact that you drive a car and blazing with a German flag. Your pool of potential dates is significantly reduced. You have an annual salary of $250,000, and the menu day must have an annual income that is equal to or greater than your own. It's all connected to a different factor, which is why it doesn't work out for you ladies either. Sorry about that. That brings me to my second point, which is that successful people who you'd like to date and who you believe would be drawn to your bussiness or ass tend to go out with younger, sexier, and more agreeable women. This brings me back to my first point, which is that successful people who you'd like to date and who you believe would be drawn to your bussiness or sass would be. It's just the way that guys are wired. Men are the focal point of attention. Once more in this passage, the pursuit of beauty is focused on women. Women in their 40s have virtually little chance of achieving their goals, especially when compared to younger women. They have a long life ahead of them. They are youthful and attractive, and it is possible that they will continue to take pleasure in all of these attributes for a considerable amount of time to come. One of the advantages that they provide is an increase in fertility. You educate yourself on evolutionary psychology. You will find a variety of answers that can be applied in a general sense to the question of why males behave in this manner. Data drawn from surveys in which men were shown pictures of attractive women, ranging in age from 18 to 70, from all over the world, in all cultures and in all regions of the world, almost without fail. There will be a chapter or section of the book devoted to the topic of attraction levels, with data drawn from surveys in which men were shown pictures of attractive women. In addition to this, were you aware of the fact that if you're a man, the age range of 20 to 30 is the most ideal for a lady to be in? If you're looking to date her, no amount of cultural pressure or magazine articles will be able to change the way that men view women as objects of beauty, so long as they view women as beautiful. Is becoming increasingly popular for people to offer pieces of advice, such as men should only date women their own age or fat acceptance norms. That's fantastic and everything, but what can we learn about guys from watching their behavior once they've reached the absolute top of the corporate ladder? Men have access to a smaller pool of potential dates than women do. They frequently have little choice but to go after younger, more attractive women because there aren't enough ladies their own age to choose from. And this gets me to my third and last point, which consists of the characteristics that men normally look for in women of that age. As someone who has been there, I can state from personal experience that the vast majority of young women are not yet prepared for long-term commitments. I will explain why it is that. They have seen everything in general. They have a predetermined number of notches that identify them. There are frequently also small children. There are some of whom have more than one father. Frequently, there are also multiple mothers present. They are a nuisance to be around, whether only someone so in some situations or almost to the point of being intolerable in others. Because they don't want to deal with arguments and other trivial issues when they get home from work. These high-achieving women are looking for guys of a better grade and aren't interested in you. Because of this, they are anxious, which motivates them to look for peace. They want a lady who can transform their house into a home rather than merely a structure that sums up all that needs to be said. These three primary issues are to blame for the fact that many of these ladies are unable to meet men who are worthy of their affection. It is the cornerstone upon which the entire sexual economy is built. They do not possess the qualities that men look for in a spouse, therefore it is not surprising that guys their age are not interested in them. This is due to the fact that they do not possess such attributes. The fact that many of these successful women have made a lot of money, have nice homes and cars, and frequently go out and meet these younger guys in nightclubs and bars in order to simply pick them up, hook them up, and do their thing with them until they end up in relationships, also speaks volumes about why there are so many younger guys dating many of these older women. I'm going to add that the younger guys I know are roughly a decade younger than many of these 40 and even 50-year-old girls. These younger guys chose to date older women simply because that's what they get, and you know that wealthy women consider younger men more as objects of beauty at that time. I'm going to add that the older women I know chose to date younger men simply because that's what they get. Things aren't running as smoothly as they used to, since many older men are either unable to perform in the bedroom or have issues doing so. This is because these men haven't made taking care of themselves a priority, so things aren't operating as smoothly as they once did. Because of this, many of the older women will begin dating some of these younger men because men their age are frequently dating younger women, and they are avoiding the disagreeable older women who occasionally also bring children with them from their previous marriages. And husbands simply stated that men don't want to accept that few individuals will be willing to express the truth, because it is a hard, cold fact. Given that this woman sought my advice, I sincerely hope that my explanations have been of some assistance. If I could provide any piece of advice to the younger women who are reading this, it would be to begin doing this throughout your childhood. When you're young and gorgeous. Now is the time to choose the man you will spend the rest of your life with, because those qualities won't always be with you. It is not unusual for women in their 30s and 40s to begin contemplating having children at this point in their lives. I can only claim that you are 42 years old, or in some circumstances 45 years old. There is a limited amount of time left for you to conceive. It's possible for you to run into any number of issues, from high-risk pregnancies to difficulties with your vehicle. In vitro fertilization, often known as IVF, is frequently required in order to successfully start a pregnancy. In a society when it is uncommon to come across a man your age who is a millionaire, the most important thing for younger women to do is to show interest in a man's future rather than his current financial situation. This is the most effective way to attract a man who is financially secure. You are 23 years old. You may reasonably guess that this person is in his late 30s or early 40s. On the other hand, if you are interested in settling down, you should look for a partner who is promising future opportunities. Men are typically more interested in learning about a woman's past. Could you tell me more about our upbringing? How many affairs can she say she's had? At the age of 42, in order for a woman to make sacrifices, grow in her job, and make a definitive decision, the guy in her life must first discover who he is. To put it another way, she is ready to embark on the journey of starting family. Because so few males are interested in her, it will be challenging for her to find someone to share her life with. It is the responsibility of women to ensure that they retain their value and provide something of worth to a guy. They go for someone who is friendlier, younger, and more straightforward in their relationship with them.